Test stream. We are
Oh,
live.
it says test stream?
No, it doesn't.
Okay,
Just giving you a hard time. Let's see if it comes up.
There we go. Guess I can delete that test stream now.
Keep it up. I think the people like it.
Shows we're on Periscope. Throwback.
Twitter just can't figure it out.
They can't, man. They really can't. What's going on, everyone? File in.
They put all their resources into Spaces and said, figure the rest of it out.
Right? Yeah, they're like, we don't care about your live podcast. I do think Spaces could be cool in like a year, where there could be like a video aspect to like the host.
Almost yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, I think it's got potential. Oh, and we'll get started here momentarily.
What is his handle? Yes, I'm sorry.
His handle.
Behind the scenes bonus coverage here, everyone.
Yeah, that's right. At Russ NFL Draft.
I was going to go ahead and throw that in the tweet since you decided.
National Scout for cover 1. Yeah, pop it in there. Show some love. Alrighty.
Let's see, it's cover 1. There we go.
What do you say, Chris?
I say a lot of things. You want me to say something here on our podcast?
Why not?
All right. Pin it. Let's go. The Big Play Reflog Show is brought to you by ShackNews.com. Shack News is the place to be for all your gaming needs with news, guides, walkthroughs, and reviews, like this week's featured article reviewing the new Gran Turismo 7 game. And remember, you can use the Shack News Cortex to join in on all the conversations, like this week's Shack Chat, where the staff discusses their racing game dream cars. Racing game dream cars. If you're a gamer, Shack News is the site for you. Check them out on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch at the handle at Shack News and at ShackNews.com.
It's time! Streaming live from Cleveland, Ohio. Presenting the undefeated, undisputed heavyweight podcast of the world, the Big Play Reflog Show.
Okay, do you need medical attention?
Yeah.
What is wrong?
I don't know. I know damn well. Attack by Chuck. To the 10. He's still running to the 5. He dips out back.
It's time! The Big Play Reflog
Show. Welcome to the Big Play Reflog Show. I am your host, Big Play Dave, alongside my two friends, Mr. Chris McNeil and Nick Padone. Gentlemen, how are we doing?
Navigating this Ohio weather here, Dave. Ups and downs, right? I was playing golf on Saturday. Sunday, today, just horrible wind, rain, cold, back to that. And I'm sure by the end of the week, we're probably going to be warming up again. I don't know. It's just that up and down at this time of the season, Dave. And we got to navigate it until we break and we get to the spring.
It's like the Cavs, 72-42. Right. Nick, what's going on, man? How are you?
What's happening? Doing well, guys. Glad to be back on the show. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Cavs won.
Dave, you know what we get to do today?
What's that?
Talk draft. We've been putting it off. Today we get to talk draft. Are you excited?
That's going to be a record for us. It's March 7th.
I know.
We held out for a while. Yeah.
We really did. We held out until March. That's pretty good for us.
I used to pull up mock drafts like January.
Right?
Oh, I still do.
Yeah. Do you, Nick?
Yeah, I love the draft though. So like I don't know. It's just something to do, something to be interested in. So yeah, I look it up. I like seeing too like what are the garbage teams thinking? Like what are the Jags thinking? What are the Jets thinking? Just because like I remember being there, like they really think that guy is gonna be like the guy that turns it all around. So I kind of like sickly, I like looking back and taking a trip down memory lane, and then you gander at 13, see what they got the Browns doing, and then click off it. I don't take it as serious as I used to, where some big name reporter would drop a mock draft and like all of Twitter ran to it to see.
Yeah. Well, that's when we were winning 0-1 games.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've come a long way. We've got a long way to go, but let's kick it off. We're going to kick it off with Power Rank Monday, then on to our featured interview, national scout for Cover One, host of the Cover One NFL Draft podcast, Russell Brown, joining the show. After that, we might or might not be doing Cavs trivia. I don't know if we have a guest yet. And then we will do Cleveland headlines brought to you by TSE Cleveland and wrap it up with the best and worst tweets of the week. Let's kick it off with some Power Rank Monday.
It's time for Power Rank Monday.
All right, Power Rank Monday time. Did you guys see this? The most expensive ticket in basketball history, Duke versus UNC.
That's why you end up with all those celebrities that were there and like none of the normal people outside of like the students. You see like Jerry Seinfeld was there.
It's like a
Commissioner
Lakers
Silver. Huh?
It's like a Lakers game or like a Rams game. It's just all celebrities.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, and that's what you ended up with. And you know what? And what a show Duke put on for that too. Way to go. Way to send Coach K off. Blaze of glory. Just like we did in Columbus. Do you remember that?
What?
Dookies came to Columbus this year. Got beaten by our Buckeyes, who can't beat anybody else, Michigan included, it seems, these days.
Oh, man.
Hopefully we can come out with like a 6 seed. That's what we're looking at.
Oh, look at that. Ed in Columbus is going to join for Cavs trivia. There we go.
Beautiful. Ed in Columbus. Welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay,
you happy
so
to know that the Blue Jackets just scored to tie it up. Speaking
there
of
we
Columbus,
go.
3-3.
Live hockey update.
There you go.
Not bad. So in honor of that, Duke UNC, we're going to power rank past Cleveland sporting events that we would pay the most money to see in person if you could go back in time. Do you guys have one that you would like to add to the power rank?
Oh yeah. I mean, there's one that's not.
Chris, what would you go way back in time, or is there one more recently? Would you go like Cavs finals?
No. Oh, you're talking like things that we would have experienced or wouldn't. Did it matter?
Correct.
Like if
Things that
during
you
our
go
lifetime?
back in time right now and go to one of these events, one of these Cleveland sports. You had tickets. Which one would you pick?
June 4th, 1974. Do you know what that is?
1974.
Nick, it was a little bit before your time. Dave,
Nick,
it was a
Nick
little
was
bit
born
before
in
our
75, I think.
time. Yeah. Do you know what that
Oh,
was?
I do. Yes.
Nick just looked it up.
I looked
Nick,
it
what
up.
was it?
I know 64.
Should I say because I cheated? I looked it up.
Yeah, of course.
10-cent beer night. 10-cent beer night. How
10-cent
great
beer
would
night
it
was
be?
74?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Now, there's enough T-shirts, too. If I went back, I'd have to go back and then wear the T-shirt of the concert. Wear a 10-cent beer night that day and then, have a picture taken. That could be like a movie. Somebody
There you
sees
go.
me in the picture in the background, like this time traveler
Heck yeah.
wearing a 10-cent beer night shirt at 10-cent beer night.
10-cent beer night.
And knowing what was going to happen, like sitting there just getting all the beers. You're sitting there just waiting for the fireworks to start. That would be great. I mean, a lot
That
of people
would
would like
be.
to go back to 1964 and see our last championship with the Browns, go back and see the Indians in the heyday, or even in the 90s, I would imagine. But not me. I'd go to 10-cent beer night, Dave.
10-cent beer night. All right, it makes the list. Nick, what would you go with?
Mine is so basic. I feel guilty saying it with how basic it is, but it's Game 7.
Yeah.
Especially like if I were to time
you saw
travel.
that. You saw what happened. If you want to
Yeah,
see it
I know.
again, just go to your TV. Oh, jeez.
Who's getting a call?
Oh, Chris getting a live caller.
Excuse
you're
me.
on
I'm
there.
very popular, gentlemen.
Hello,
We're,
you're
we're,
on
very
there.
we're back to the
You're
Browns
very
post
fun.
game show. Take the call.
That was me from 10-cent beer night. I made it back apparently in a certain timeline, and I was calling in to tell everybody how it was. Live update.
No, yeah, mine's Game 7. I mean, before
Yeah.
that, like I have gone to see the Browns last championship. Where was that? You know, what is going on, Chris?
What
This
is
is
going
just
on
the
is I'm going to have to go have a
constant session.
conversation with one of my kids here in a second. Live radio, folks.
What other games would you put on there? I mean, you can't really go Indians World Series, even though that was like my favorite one I ever went to. I mean, you lost, so
Here's a wild right. Here's a fun one for me as a LeBron fan. What about LeBron's debut?
yeah.
Actually, go through it, see it happen.
I thought you were gonna go Pistons, where he scored 25 points.
That one, but again, like kind of like Chris said, like I remember that. What about here's one that I didn't go to, but I really wanted to. I was a little bit younger. My parents were like, "Yeah, is that really a good idea?"
I'll be right back. I'm going to exit the studio here for just a moment, gentlemen.
Dave, the game where LeBron's first game back as a member of the Miami Heat.
You would want to go to that?
I mean, that atmosphere was wild. We lost, but that's like a historic monumental
Whoa! You're
game.
saying his game back to Cleveland with the Heat?
Yeah.
Oh, I was at that game.
You were that's
Oh,
exactly
yeah.
my point. Was it fun?
No. Oh, his phone's still ringing.
Ringing somehow. Here, we could mute him. There we go.
There you go. Good work.
Okay.
All right, so you can unmute Chris now. You got it, Chris. You got 3 phone calls while you were gone.
Did I really?
Yep,
This is fantastic.
that's all right.
Live radio.
That's right. I mean,
Should we bring in a guest to join this fun?
Yeah, sure.
Well, it's right about time, right?
All
Bring in our
right.
guest.
Yeah.
Are we done with this conversation or not? Did we figure it out?
Chris leaves, and then he comes back and he's like, "We're done, right?"
This is like a group project. I'm just going to slap my name on whatever you guys came up with and then move along.
He said, "Are we done with it?"
Good Lord.
I mean, number 1 is 10-cent beer night, right?
There you go.
There you
Number
go.
2 is
Bottlegate.
86 Browns Jets because I'd
Oh,
like to go back and see
Bottlegate.
myself.
I was also at
Like-
Bottlegate. I would go
Oh,
back in time and go back to that and have worse seats, so then you don't have bottles flying over you.
So
That
you
was-
were
Let's go
actually
to
at
all the
Bottlegate?
cool-
Oh yeah, I forget how old I was. What year was that?
I don't know. We were playing Jacksonville.
I was
You were
like,
old enough. You were a teenager, right?
I
You were
was,
like
I was
17.
I want to say like no, I want to say I was like 13.
2001.
2001, 2011, 21 years ago.
Yeah.
38, 28, 18. Okay, yeah,
That's
Chris,
pretty
you were
close.
closer.
Yeah. I told you.
I was
Wow.
3.
I didn't throw any bottles.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Bottlegate, that's mine. Chris, 10-cent beer night. Nick,
10-cent beer night. No doubt.
2016 championship.
Game 7. Yeah, I'm lame. Sorry.
Done. Awesome. Great segment. Okay, let's move on. It's
Nobody
time-
said like the drive or the fumble or anything like that, right? We're not
No,
doing
we
that
don't
crap.
get dark here.
Keeping it all positive tonight.
all positive tonight. Let's
Jump up.
get into our
Jump up,
featured
Brad.
interview of the week. National scout for Cover One, host of the Cover One NFL Draft Podcast. We're bringing in Russell Brown. We will be back in 5 seconds. There we are. It is interview time. Russell Brown. Follow him on Twitter at Russ NFL Draft. Russ, what's going on, my man? How are you?
I'm doing well, fellas. How are you guys?
We're doing okay. We're doing all right. Working through some technical glitches, but we're here. We've made it, and we're ready to talk some NFL draft of our Cleveland Browns, where we will not be taking a quarterback. So that's always a positive here in Cleveland. What'd you think of the combine, man? How much weight do you put into the combine? Do you think it's that important nowadays?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the position. I mean, if you have a cornerback that you're taking somewhere maybe in that second or third round, you want to make sure that he can defend wide receivers and go vertically down the field. You want to make sure that he's got relatively good long speed, so he's not getting beat deep all the time. And as a Lions fan, I can speak in favor of the fact that, when they took Tease Tabor coming out of Florida in the second round, I mean, the guy ran like a 4.65, but the only thing he could do was be like that press man corner, but he kept getting beat deep all the time. So it's one of those things where like you can't buy a bunch of stock into it because you always have to trust the tape, but it does help match up what you see on tape. So I put a little stock into it, but I don't freak out over every 40 time. I don't freak out over hand size. I don't freak out over every little thing like kind of the national media might do or other people might do. Because at the end of the day, after I watch 4 or 5 games of a player, I feel pretty confident in what I see and kind of my knowledge of football.
So a Lions fan.
Yeah.
So
Brothers
Matt
in arms right there. Brothers in arms. We only, on opposite sides whenever it comes to the GLC, which unfortunately we don't play for that trophy anymore. So it doesn't put us on the odd side of the aisle that often anymore.
So I'm curious your thoughts on Baker, because Matt Stafford, obviously a good quarterback, didn't work out in Detroit. How do we avoid that in Cleveland with Baker Mayfield? Maybe which receivers can we go after to complement this system that we have here in Cleveland, complement Baker's strengths? I don't want to see him get traded away and be good somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. It kind of sucked watching Stafford go off and do his thing. It was awesome because I love the guy, got a fat head of him down in my man cave downstairs. But at the end of the day, like I wanted to see that thing here in Detroit and it didn't happen. But, the key is just to obviously you want to build things around him the right way. And, whether it's the offensive line, which I think they've done a pretty good job with, guys like Jedrick Wills and bringing in Jack Conklin and Wyatt Teller, what a steal he was from Buffalo. I can't believe they let him go. But, they've done a phenomenal job building those guys up across that offensive line. But really, it's just about adding some playmakers now on the wide receiver position, like you mentioned. So, some guys in this draft, I have 6 first-round grades. And if I'm going to be honest, I mean, I don't think there's really a wrong answer. I love all of these guys from, Jamison Williams to Chris Olave to Garrett Wilson, all the way down to even Jahan Dotson. Now, I personally think Drake London is the best wide receiver in this draft just off of my rankings. But I would understand if they took one of these other wide receivers. But starting with Drake London, if he ends up being there, obviously, you want to make sure that he's healthy. He had the injury earlier in the year back at USC. But, overall, you look at a player that just he's got the body frame that you're looking for jump ball situations, whether it's a 50-50 ball, contested catches, whatever it might be. He goes up there and he gets it. He's always constantly high pointing the football, really has great body control, and he's somebody that just really wins, it feels like, in all 3 areas of the field that maybe he doesn't get as much credit for as a route runner and maybe that separator that some of these other receivers do. So Drake London would make a lot of sense. Garrett Wilson's kind of been the player that I kind of key them up to. I think he's a lot better of a route runner than he gets credit for, but you also talk about body control. He ran a 4.38 40 down at the combine, which I know I just said at the top of the show, I don't buy a bunch of stock into that stuff, but obviously, you like to see right. You like to see the speed in that. So I think really, you take your pick, but if I had to boil it down to like 2 guys on my particular board for maybe the Browns, those would be the 2 guys. But again, I don't think that there's really a wrong or right answer when it comes to the Cleveland Browns. They have to add a pass catcher, and it wouldn't surprise me with the picks that they have if they ended up, adding 2 of these guys, two receivers in this draft at some point.
Break down Chris Olave. What do you think about his game? Obviously, the other guy there at Ohio State, opposite Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, when you look back at, this interior offensive line group, everybody looks at Zion Johnson. I call him Mr. Consistent, and I think I actually said this on 97.1 The Fan down in Columbus today. Chris Olave, kind of the same deal with the wide receiver group, is he's Mr. Consistent. I mean, he's just been so consistent over the course of his career. You look at Drake London, he might not maybe have that high ceiling like London does, but at the same time, he still might be just as productive as any receiver in this draft because of what he can do in all three areas of the field, especially in the short and intermediate areas. He's probably the best route runner in this group. He's super smooth as an athlete. You saw it, his first 40 time was a 4.26 unofficial, which we could probably get into for days on the timing and how far off they were, but it ended up being a 4.39, and that was a lot faster than I had projected, and I think a lot of people. So, he might have a little bit of a skinnier frame, maybe not as muscular as like a Drake London, but he is somebody that can win in all three areas. He can win after the catch. I love his skill set. He's just kind of been this consistent, steady top 20 pick, it feels like, on the consensus boards across anybody you talk to. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was the first or second receiver off the board either. But at the same time, it wouldn't surprise me if he ended up being like the 30th pick of the draft or something.
What teams, in your opinion, Russ, do you think the Browns need to look out for ahead of 13 that might snag one of their kind of dream receivers? Give you some insight locally. I think a lot of people are kind of clinging on to Garrett Wilson. So do you see anybody 1 through 12 that could kind of put those dreams to bed and take our guy?
Yeah, I mean, the Giants would be somewhat of a surprise because they've spent so much time building up kind of the playmakers that they have, in a sense. $72 million for Kenny Golladay. They've established Sterling Shepard in that offense as maybe a number 2. Darius Slayton's like a nice little flyer as that number 3, but they might look at another wide receiver just simply because Kyle Rudolph is gone. Evan Ingram's probably gone. Depending on what happens with Barkley, maybe they just completely revamp this offense with Brian Dable and become this air it out type of offense with either pick 5 or 7. But also the Jets, probably not at 4, maybe more so at 10. Maybe that's where Garrett Wilson goes, just adding a playmaker for Zach Wilson. But obviously the news story that broke probably 3-4 hours ago was Calvin Ridley obviously being suspended for the rest of the year for gambling. So the Falcons are going to be in the market for a wide receiver. And depending on how the edge rushers go, I could see them going after a wide receiver. Maybe that is Drake London. Maybe that is Garrett Wilson. Maybe it's Olave. So I would think those are probably the 3 teams. I would be a little surprised if maybe Minnesota or Washington did at 11 or 12. Maybe a team moves up, obviously. But I really think if the board plays out with, obviously some quarterbacks, some offensive tackles and defensive ends and maybe a linebacker or a cornerback, I really think that this Cleveland Browns football team could maybe get the pick of the litter when it comes to wide receivers.
So what you're saying is Calvin Ridley getting busted today for gambling could affect the Cleveland Browns in a negative way.
Yes, it could be. And it's not because he didn't have them on one of the legs of his parlay.
Right.
And he's just tweeting his way through this.
I know. I can't believe that.
Someone take his phone.
He's like, oh, $1,500. I don't have a problem. Okay, that's fine. But you still didn't do what you're supposed to do, man. Like, just call your brother or something and be like, hey, here's $1,000.
Your starter always said, have a fall guy.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So if the Browns don't go wide receiver there, where do you think they would look?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's tough.
I'm talking to 13.
Yeah, I think, probably somewhere on that defensive side of the football, simply because of the edge rushers that could potentially be there. If Jadeveon Clowney's not back, do they try to find somebody else to pair up with Myles Garrett? And if they do, is that maybe like David Ajabo from Michigan, who I'm a pretty big fan of, just simply from a pass rushing standpoint? Kind of reminds me of Chandler Jones. He's got a plethora of pass rush moves. He wins with a bull rip move, a spin move, a push pull move pretty consistently. But he also understands how to translate speed to power. He's got to get a little bit more consistent in the run game as far as, he needs to fight pressure with pressure a little bit better, squeeze some things down. But you look at his length, you look at his athletic ability, see that he's really only been playing football for 4 or 5 years, and you look at it and say, man, this guy's potential is through the roof. So he could be a top 10 pick, but if they ended up going another route, I think Ajabo would make a lot of sense. Karlaftis is interesting because, at the start of the year, he was somebody out of Purdue that was maybe a top 5, top 10 pick, and you see him now, he's more so mocked in the 20 range, and I think maybe there were some question marks as far as athletic ability and maybe how high his ceiling is as a pass rusher. He seems just more so a little bit limited, like what you see is what you get. But if he ends up being there, he might be just too good to kind of pass up. And maybe it's in a similar spot when you look back at Houston, the Houston Texans back when they got J.J. Watt. I believe that was the 13th overall pick as well when they got him. So maybe Karlaftis just kind of falls into that role and you end up getting him because everybody passes and you get a really great playmaker on the opposite side of Myles Garrett.
I know this is kind of a loaded question, but say there was a situation or a circumstance where a guy like Drake London, Garrett Wilson get drafted ahead of the Browns. Do you see a world with Andrew Berry and how he runs things very analytically that a trade down could be in the works for this year's draft?
Oh God.
Yeah, I mean, I always love
Be
the
a long
idea of
snapper.
I
Or
always love
center.
the
It was a center that we traded down, right? Alex Mack, when we traded down like
Yeah.
50 times a few years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's maybe that's in the cards. I don't think you would trade with Pittsburgh if they ended up falling in love with Malik Willis. If he was ending up to be there, could they trade up and get him? Sure. But I don't think, obviously, in division, I don't think they're going to do that. But I look at New Orleans at 18 just simply because the play for a potential quarterback could make a lot of sense for that team. They're not going to be in the market for a veteran quarterback unless they bring back Teddy Bridgewater or bring in Jameis Winston back, for a relatively cheap deal. I think we can all agree on this podcast, on the show, that Taysom Hill is not an NFL quarterback by any means. So,
And
they're going to need
40.
Yeah, right. And he's making somehow $40 million a year. It doesn't make sense. But, they're going to need a quarterback. And with that, I mean, they could be very intrigued with a Desmond Ridder, a Malik Willis, a Kenny Pickett, somebody like that. So I think there's some options there. New Orleans is probably that one team. New England would be the other team because you just never know what they're going to do. But if they ended up moving back, again, I think an edge rusher would make sense for them. They could look at an offensive lineman just because it might be a little bit of a safe pick, not a sexy pick, but it's a safe pick. But obviously there's quite a few receivers. So even if they trade back, get a couple of extra picks and can still land a receiver, I think it's a win-win for them.
Russ, you mentioned playmakers earlier. Let's talk about them. Kickers. How many kickers do you have on your big board? And we're just looking at Cincinnati. So they take a kicker in the 5th round, worked out incredibly well.
Boom, Super Bowl, right?
Super Bowl, yes, all kickers.
Watching the halftime show, as I recall, too. Did you hear that story?
Right? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I want a kicker that can watch the Super Bowl halftime show from inside the stadium. That would be fine with me. I'll just tell you that right now.
Russ, is there a kicker on your big board that looks good for the Cleveland Browns that can watch a halftime show?
No, I'll be honest, fellas. I don't watch kickers or punters unless, like, I'm at the Senior Bowl, I'm sitting down there in Mobile, and they catch my eye. Like a few years ago, Tyler Bass caught our eye a little bit being down there. He was booming them from like 50, 55 yards pretty consistently, like in the stands. But other than that, I thought the weather was bad. I'll give a pass to the kickers that were down at the Senior Bowl, but I thought they kind of sucked, if I'm going to be honest, compared to the last couple of years. So I'm just going to be honest with you. I thought they kind of sucked, but could they draft one? Sure.
Every
maybe
kicker sucked, is what you're saying.
I mean,
nobody's worth drafting.
If you're looking for like marketing, something to get the people going, maybe Dicker the kicker from Texas. That would be my guess.
There we go.
Yeah. There's
God.
all kinds of opportunities. Twitter. Oh, Browns Twitter would have just
Dave, yeah. I was just gonna ask, could we have Cody draw a shirt just in case like day 3 of the draft comes, we take him and we have a brown and orange Dicker the kicker just ready to drop?
Go for
locked
it.
and loaded.
Why
we'll
not?
be millionaires overnight, right?
Yeah, because the draft, like day 3 would be Saturday at around like 4:30, and the friggin' Dicker the kicker shirt drops, and by Monday we're all calling off work rich.
There we go. All right, Russ, last one before we let you go. And everyone, go follow him on Twitter. Great follow at Russ NFL Draft. How do you see this playing out for the Browns? Crystal ball, draft day. What are the Browns going to do?
Man, that's $1 million question for every team, right? If I could get it all right,
we don't care about the other teams, though. We just care about
I would be a millionaire.
It's a kicker at 13.
No. It could be that punter. It could be that punter from San Diego State, Matt Azariah or whatever. Yeah, that dude was booming them. But no, realistically, I think it will be a wide receiver unless they ended up landing like Amari Cooper or something like that somehow. But realistically, I think it'll be a receiver. I already kind of talked about London and Wilson and Olave, but I will say Treylon Burks would be another one from Arkansas, just simply because you could do so much with them. I know he ran a 4.5 40, which some people like frowned upon, even though he's 6'2", 225. I thought the speed was fine. And when you see him going, like you put the ball in his hands, he gets faster as the game goes on. So he's a versatile chess piece. You think about Deebo Samuel kind of playing around all over the place. Burks does the same thing, does a lot of orbit motion, jet motion stuff. So I think Burks could do the same thing for Cleveland in a sense, and play maybe that big slot, play on the outside as an X receiver, do a lot of things. And obviously if they decide to add a free agent or keep Jarvis Landry, whatever they decide, I think a receiver regardless is still the pick there at 13.
Any chance we go for a quarterback late? Just throw one in at the back end of this draft?
Yeah, they could. I think that's been kind of a rule of thumb for some teams, just going after quarterbacks and always draft one every year. Kind of that that late day 2, day 3 guy I like is Bailey Zappi from Western Kentucky. He kind of got better every day at the Senior Bowl. Reminds me a little bit of like maybe a Case Keenum in a sense, which,
there you go, Dave. Dave's ears just peaked up. He loves himself some Case Keenum over there.
Yeah, so I mean, depending on what happens with him, if you move on, you replace him with Bailey Zappi, it might work out in the long term for you. So he would be the one that I'd probably pay attention to, and maybe he goes a little bit later than early day 3 or something. Maybe he ends up going in that 5th or 6th round.
I'm not sure how deep you've got on this. One last quarterback question. I'm so
that's
sorry.
Fine. Bring him coming. It's fine. It's all good.
Dustin Crum, local kid, went to Midview, went to Kent State. Where are you at with him? And like, is he going to get drafted? Is he kind of a day 3 guy?
Yeah, he's a day 3 guy. It's more so with him. Where's he going to fit in the NFL as far as from, his overall size, from his overall, accuracy, his ball placement? Can that all translate to the NFL? And can he pick up an NFL offense and the verbiage and kind of the different signals colors that he's going to have? But sure, he could be a day 3 pick, probably that 6th or 7th round, or certainly that UDFA that when it's all said and done, we look back and we go the next day after the draft and go, oh, my team got this UDFA, so on and so forth. So he might more so be a camp body. But anything is possible. I mean, he could come on and learn an offense and be a great backup and pull a Chad Henne and still be playing in the league, even though he got drafted in like 2004. So you never know, how it's going to shake out for some of these guys. But yeah, Dustin Crum, I mean, I thought at the combine, he ran, he looked good, as far from in the shirts and stuff like that. But in pads, I think it's gonna be a little different story for him.
All right, Russ, finally, last one. Who has a better record next year, Browns or Lions?
No.
Let me call Calvin Ridley. I think it'll be the Browns. I'll bet money on it.
Russ, thanks for joining, man. Everyone go follow him on Twitter at Russ NFL Draft. I'd love to have you back on sometime. All right, guys. Russ.
Anytime, fellas. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
You too. Good stuff out of Russ. All right, so we're taking a punter, a kicker, a quarterback, and then hopefully a wide receiver.
There you go.
Not
There you
bad.
go. That was some analysis right there. That's a lot to chew on. He knows
Young
his
Mel
stuff.
Kiper right there. I liked it.
I know. Very,
You
very
think he's a
impressive.
big board?
I want somebody like that to like sit next to me while I'm watching the draft. Just
Yeah.
kind of tell me like the ins and outs of all these guys. It's just amazing. You can throw these names out and he's like all over it.
Oh, you don't have Twitter, Chris?
Yes.
Don't
Yes.
tell-
Everybody's an expert on
Yeah.
Twitter. I mean an actual expert, not idiots like me.
Oh, man. All right. Let's try to give away some free beer. What do you say?
Let's do
That's
it.
right. We got Ed, right? Let's go.
We got Ed in Columbus. Let's do it. It is time for Who Wants to Be a Billionaire? All right, it is time for Who Wants to Be a Billionaire for some Cavs trivia. We are bringing on Ed in Columbus, and this is how it works. We start off with cash for a Labatt 6-pack. If you'd like to move on to the next question, it is for a 12-pack and then a 24-pack, and one final question for a case of Labatt Blue Light and a GV Art shirt. Ed in Columbus, welcome to the show, my man. How are you?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Dude, you were dressed up for us.
Heck
Looking
yeah.
good. Got
Success,
the
baby.
tie,
Dressed
the
for-
shirt, the hat. He's going all Cavs, all old school colors. I love it.
Absolutely. Ed, now I'm used to seeing you in your Browns hat. How confident are you in Cavs trivia?
Well, I am a child of the Lenny Wilkins, Mark Price, Brad Doherty days. The shot
Okay.
to me was still Jordan over Elo, but thank goodness for Kyrie Irving to erase that. But I'm more of that period. But I like my chances, but I don't know. We'll see. That's why I dress so nicely, because dress for success.
Whereabouts in
right.
Columbus do you live? I'm curious.
I'm five minutes south of Grove City, Commercial Point, home of Sarah Fisher, the race car driver.
Okay. Oh yeah. Very good. Very good. Do you follow the
Sarah
Blue
Fisher.
Jackets?
Shout out.
I do. They've had some tough losses. They've been retiring some numbers and bringing some nostalgia. But just like
We're all
Coach
about
K-
that. That's what we do.
Yeah,
That's
like
all we
Coach-
do is retire numbers, and when players go to other teams, they come back, and then we honor them.
we got the Coach K treatment. You know, we're we can't get the job done.
Well, I asked because we're losing again. I looked up there. I gave us a score update when we were 3-3. Now we're down 5-3. We give up a lot of goals. We score a lot of goals, and we give up a lot of goals. That's Blue Jackets.
Chris, where are we in hockey right now? Like in the season? I have no idea when it starts or ends.
That's about 3/4 of the way over.
Yeah.
Similar to basketball.
Yeah,
It
it-
runs
Yeah.
Similar?
runs
Okay.
similar to basketball. Yeah.
The
I think
All-Star
hockey
breaks are
ends
about a
like
week apart.
or-
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Ed, are you ready for question one?
I think so.
All right, I'm going to get the epic music going. It's going to pump you up. Here we go.
Yes. All right. Yeah.
All right, question number one. Cash for a 6-pack of Labatt. The Cavs play the Bulls Saturday. Which current Bull did the Cavs select with the 4th overall pick in the 2011 NBA draft?
Oh, jeez. Oh.
He's a recent Bull, by the way.
So this is 2011 draft, 4th overall for the
geez.
Cavs.
4th overall. Okay, so 2011. I know we drafted. Oh, that would have to be 2011. So that was after. Well, I know one year was. I know it wasn't Tristan because I know he's picked 4th, but it wasn't him.
Mhm.
Oh, jeez, I know. This is gonna be pathetic.
Wait, think it through. What year was Kyrie Irving?
Was he 2013? Was he 20? Maybe it was Tristan Thompson. I'll just go Tristan Thompson.
Tristan Thompson!
Well
Yeah, well,
done.
I was overthinking it.
Well
That's right.
done.
Well done. Yeah, you had it. You just say, you work your way through these things. That's right. Here we go.
Do you
Would you
want to
like
go
to-
on?
I got to. I got
Cash
to.
for a 12-pack.
I got to.
Cash for a 12-pack of Labatt. The Cavs play the Heat this Friday. Cleveland and Miami did a 3-team trade with Toronto in 2001. The Cavs sent big man Chris Gatling Gun to Miami. In return, Cleveland received Brian Skinner and a young shooting guard who went on to lead the team in scoring the next season. Who was that guard?
Oh, it's either Ricky Davis or Lamont Murray.
Ooh, don't want to get this one wrong.
Wrong. Ricky Davis. Wrong way. Ricky Davis. Final answer.
Ding, ding. Very
Wow.
nice. Very nice. 2
That was
for 2.
strong.
That was well done.
All right, are we playing on, Ed?
We're playing on.
Yeah, he's 2 for 2, going for 3.
All righty, man. We're playing on. Going for 3 for cash for a 24-pack of Labatt.
Let's go.
JB Bickerstaff is going to get some consideration for NBA Coach of the Year this season. Who was the last Cleveland Cavaliers coach to win this award? It happened in 2009.
Mike Brown. Final answer.
Boom.
My
Make sure it wasn't David Blatt.
Coach Potato Head.
No, I would like to go bowling with Coach Blatt though. That would've
Not
been fun.
Beeline. I'm surprised Beeline didn't. Do it. You have to actually coach a full season to be eligible. I don't know.
Ed, you are cruising, man. You are
He is.
absolutely cruising. Would you like to go to question 4? Final question. Case of Labatt Blue Light and a GV art shirt.
They don't call this the Big Play Reflog Show for nothing. Let's do it.
Epic music is back.
Yes.
Let's go. Jared Allen is on pace to have the highest single season true shooting percentage in franchise history. So So true shooting is a combination of 2-point, 3-point, and free throw. Which former 3-point specialist set the current record in 2018? So 2s, 3s, and free throws.
3-point specialist 2018. I know. I know this from Kyle Korver.
Wow.
We have a winner!
Whoa!
Yes!
Well done. Well done.
Ed.
Look at that!
I'm impressed. I am very
Wow.
impressed.
It's a tie. It's no ties. Only wins or losses. No ties.
Well done. Especially to Kyle Korver. I had forgotten about Kyle Korver.
I want to forget about Kyle Korver.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. Well done.
I hated Kyle Korver, and then when he came to the Cavs, I was like, all right, I like Kyle Korver.
You like Kyle for a little while.
I got a question for you guys, though.
Very impressive.
I have just one question. You know, we franchised Chief David Njoku. Is there, if baseball doesn't start, is there any way that Cleveland can franchise Chief Wahoo?
Wow, there we go to a 1-year deal.
Not a fan of the Guardians. Huh?
Actually, I am. I kind of like. I even like the fastball G, the logo. I know people don't like it.
You
but
like that?
Oh, that's
You
so
know what?
ugly.
It's not bad, man.
I
It's not
kind of
bad.
like it. I don't. I'm
Oh,
a
get out of here. We're gonna
I'm
take
a
back your
simpleton.
TV art shirt.
Ed's just a huge fan of clip art.
Yes, I am. Guilty.
The little paperclip guy,
I am.
Clippy.
You got me, Dave. You got me.
Oh man.
Oh man, Ed. So every winter, we obviously want your take on the Cavs, but also I know you're a big Browns fan as well. So what are your thoughts on the Cavs, and how do you kind of see the Browns offseason shaping up here?
With the Cavs, I like what they're doing. The only thing I want to ask you guys is there something in Cleveland in the water? Why is it that every time we have a team that's either, on the rise, or I wouldn't say championship, but it's always injuries derail us, whether it be a pitching staff for the Indians, Guardians, the Browns, look at what happens to them. And now with Jared Allen and the Cavs, it's like, once again, it's wiping away what possibly could be a great or even greater season than what we have. So, but I do like JV Bickerstaff. I think Colin Sexton needs to be re-signed for like a 2-year deal because I think we need another scoring punch. I wish we would have got somebody like an Eric Gordon or somebody else. I like Karis LeVert, but I don't know if he's not on the court. I mean, sometimes the availability is the best ability. I like to see what we got. Darius Garland, get your back right. I think you're a superstar. Cavs looking going forward. Love them. Browns, I don't know. Here's the thing with the Browns. Don't know. If Baker Mayfield's good, we're okay. If Baker Mayfield isn't okay, what are we going to do then? I mean, because say we don't say for instance we drafted Malik Willis. Okay, I'm not saying we should.
Oh,
but, listen. You draft him. You draft him this year.
I won. I get my time.
That's right. Let him talk.
You draft him this year, and then say Baker, doesn't ball out, and then you have him for next year. Because if Baker sucks this year, then you're going into next year with then say you draft a rookie. At least you'd have somebody that has experience for 1 year this year sitting behind Baker. I don't know. I don't want Malik Willis. I'm sorry, Nick Padone. I'm happy to win. I'll shut my mouth. I don't want to upset anybody. Baker's the guy. He's the man. And have a great night, everyone.
Baker hater right there. Eddie
No.
Direct all your hate at him.
Don't do that. That's
he just came on our airwaves and said he hates Baker Mayfield.
I love Baker
Mayfield. Have at him. Go have at him.
Ride with 6.
There. Eddie Columbus, you are the man.
Fantastic.
Thank you, guys.
Good stuff, Ed.
Congratulations on the win, man. Congratulations.
Go Cavs.
Awesome. Go Cavs.
Yep. All right, Eddie Columbus bringing it. That was fantastic.
He's the best, I'll tell you.
He's so good. I love that dude.
He said the
shot out of a cannon every single time. You ask him about anything, just shot out of a cannon.
So good.
The Browns, I don't know.
We've all been there. Go Browns, I guess.
And then he suggested that we draft a quarterback from Liberty.
Yeah, I don't know. To that point, like, if you draft a rookie quarterback, you can start them in the NFL right away now. I mean,
this kid ain't that good.
No.
This Malik Willis that everybody loves.
I'm just saying, if Baker's horrible and we're gonna have a horrible record, we could go out and get a quarterback that can play right away.
Stroud.
Oh my god, no!
Suck for Stroud.
Stroud. Not ready for that.
You know what we need though?
Baseball
going on. Yeah, with everything going on with baseball, Major League Baseball, and the fact that they still don't have an agreement, I think we need to play some baseball cards.
People are bargaining for nightly baseball cards.
It's what America needs. The
That's
pastime. As I'm
I feel
watching
like I
on my
lost last time.
TV, people just streaming out of Nationwide Arena as
You,
the Blue
you did,
Jackets
Dave.
lost.
I feel like you got screwed with that. Remember, like he had the Legends pack or whatever, and it was like every person was good, and you just had the normal pack.
So this week, gentlemen,
Yeah.
I've got one of those multi-packs. Have you ever seen these where they come like there's 4 of them? I
No.
cut 2 of
Oh,
them
God,
off.
We're doing 4 of these.
No, we're not doing 4 of these. I
Oh.
cut them off, so we just got 2.
Okay.
Now you've got
See-through.
an up card for both of them. You've got Daryl Hamilton, and you've got NL East rivals Howard Johnson and Ryan Sandberg. So that's the first card on either of these.
No, that
Pick
doesn't
the
count,
25.
right?
Yeah, we're not going to count. That's a discard count.
It's a discard. Okay.
Yeah, that's
That's
a
like the
discard. But which one would you
instructions or
like?
the Joker. Wait, who's wild? Julio Franco?
Julio Franco is always wild. Dave.
Okay. I am going to go with your left.
That would be the Daryl Hamilton pack.
Yes.
All right, let's go.
I feel like that one started off way worse than Hojo and Ryan Sandberg.
You
So
have stickers right off the bat.
look at that.
And Daryl Hamilton, we'll go ahead discard that one.
There's
Pat Tabler for Kansas City.
Okay.
Played for your Indians later on. Frank Viola. That's not bad for the Mets. Oh, here's a
Frankie.
classic. Doug Jones.
Doug
from the
Jones.
Cleveland
Doug
Indians.
Jones.
That's nice.
Jones.
Oh, Franco. John Franco.
Oh,
John Franco
that's
right
wild.
there. From the Cincinnati Reds. You've got George Brett. This is an anniversary card.
that's
if
a
we're gonna
great
count
card.
that. We're going to count that anniversary card, George
Yeah,
Brett.
He's
Oh,
on there.
All right.
I feel like we don't count.
Yeah, we don't count the
Those-
special cards.
Yeah.
Ken
no,
Oberkill, Ken Oberkefell. I don't know.
that's a
what that
made up
is.
name.
That is Rich Gedman. He's a catcher for the Red Sox.
No, this is horrible.
Mitch Williams, pitcher from the Cubs. Wow, here you go, Dave. Here's a special card for you. Dan Plesac. Dan Plesac.
That's a wild
Zach's
one.
uncle. Yes, and yes.
Yes.
Anytime you pull a Plesac, that's always good times.
I feel
Jack
like
out.
every time we pull a Dan Plesac, like Zach Plesac should just have to pop up on the screen and start talking to us about it.
I mean, he gave us this
We
game.
just have him on call.
That's exactly right.
Zach
Dan
has to
Plesac.
sit in here every Monday just in the off chance
His
we
uncle
pull
comes
his
up.
uncle.
Jack Howell, Carmen Castillo,
All right.
Lloyd McClendon from the Cubs, catcher. Jack Morris from the Tigers. That's not bad. Mark Grant. That is bad. And Wade Boggs, but that's once again a Wade Boggs special card.
That looks cool. From
It is
from-
pretty cool.
Is it like 3D?
You know what I watched the other day was the It's Always Sunny, where they go cross country and try to drink as many beers as Wade Boggs
yes.
allegedly
How many
did.
Labatt's did Wade Boggs drink? Like 118?
It was an ungodly number. It's
Yeah.
a fantastic episode. All right, who do you want here?
Oh, jeez. Well, I can't take Wade Boggs or George Brett.
No, they're both off the table. That's right.
Okay,
So-
we'll go Doug Jones.
Doug Jones, that's solid.
And we had
Jack
we had a
Morris
card.
is good.
no,
Lloyd McClendon,
it was earlier.
Manager.
Dude, are you not going to take?
Mitch Williams,
I thought I had a
Frank
pretty good
Viola.
No.
No,
Dan
Pat Tabler.
Plesac?
Yeah, I guess I'll go Dan Plesac. I thought I had
Dan
another decent one.
All right. Dan Plesac. All right. Plesac's
is
not
so
a bad
bad.
call. Let's see what I get.
I feel like
Mickey
Dan Plesac will
Mantle.
get me over the hump though.
Let's see here. Tony Pena. Yes. Tony
Wow.
Pena. That's a fantastic pull. Do you know who he was the personal catcher of, Nick? He was a personal catcher for a Cleveland Indian.
Tony Pena
Yeah.
once at a hotel bar in Toronto put a box over my head when I asked for an autograph.
No way. Why?
I think he was wasted.
God bless him. He was the personal catcher of Dennis Martinez when he was
Incredibly
that's
nice
cool.
guy.
Oh wow. Steve Olin from the Indians.
Oh, no,
R.I.P.
yeah, no kidding.
Howard
great.
Johnson from the Mets.
Sidearm.
Greg Olson from the Orioles.
Okay,
Not
you
the tight end.
Jeff Peterick, pitcher. Steve Farr, pitcher from Kansas City.
I picked the wrong pack.
Don Ace, pitcher from the Mets. Oh, I think I just won.
You already won.
Joe Carter, outfielder from the
Ah.
Cleveland Indians.
Oh, it's
You
an
know what?
Indians card.
Wow.
Let's do a Battle of Ohio too, because I'm also going to pull a favorite from down south. Paul O'Neill, outfielder from the
Wow.
Reds. All of Ohio says that I win this one.
So
baby.
that was another special pack, I feel like.
no,
like,
it
I-
wasn't.
Yeah.
These are regular cards. I do have a special player of the decade, Jose Canseco, in here.
Nick, I think what he's
Nice.
doing, like, that wasn't a multi-pack. That was just like he opened them all up. He took all the good ones, and then he like
Lined them all up.
resealed them somehow.
Yeah, that's
Do
what I
they
started to
make
do,
that
Dave.
stuff that
Yep.
heats up the plastic? And
You
can
guys are on to
see it
me.
on TikTok.
And did you notice when he was holding the cards out, like the one he wanted me to do, he was like way out here.
Like a magician.
Yeah, sleight of hand.
Can I continue with my pack? Kurt Manowrag, Eric Hatzel, Jerome Walton, BJ Surhoff. Remember him? He wasn't bad.
Not
Pretty good.
really.
BJ Surhoff. Yeah.
So
So-
I'd start sweating there, Chris.
I think I'm going to go with Paul O'Neill and Joe Carter. Go with all Ohio, baby.
Okay, so I would like to propose a new rule with if a Dan Plesac is pulled, I get to take one of your cards.
Oh, no.
Not tonight, but just going forward.
Ah.
Yeah, like whoever pulls a Dan Plesac, that's like a
Yeah,
steal.
it's like a swap card.
Yeah, he started the
Okay.
like technically his bloodline
So
started.
I would
this
get the
game.
Dan Plesac and you get like Joe Carter.
Yes.
That doesn't seem fair. But okay.
Well, okay, so Dan Plesac's a swap card and Julio Franco's a
It
wild
was
card.
wild.
Okay.
This is going to be a game that we can sell.
We got to start writing down these rules.
Right.
All right. So
Alrighty.
I assume I win.
All
Joe
right,
Carter, Paul
Joe
O'Neill.
Carter, Cleveland guy. No, not a Cleveland guy, but played in Cleveland. So good job, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. My uncle also set a minor league record with Joe Carter. Have I told that story?
Dan Plesac?
No. My uncle, he pitched AAA ball. And
Did he really?
when Joe Carter was in the minors, he set a record for most home runs ever in the minor league, and whatever league this
Yeah.
was, single A, double A, or whatever it was. My uncle, he hit that final home run off of my uncle. So
No kidding.
my uncle likes to say that he and Joe Carter set a record together. And he did. Yeah.
Oh, that's
True story, folks. True
Joe
story.
he is
Kevin
from
Christon.
Oklahoma City. You could have given me 100 guesses at
No
100
kidding.
different cities. I would have never guessed Oklahoma City.
No. Wow. Well, I picked the wrong pack. All right, it is on to headlines. Let's keep it going. Cleveland Headlines brought to you by our good friends at TSE Enterprises Cleveland. Look out for those show tweets to be eligible to win each week for those weekly giveaways. This week, we are giving away a Jed Wills 8x10 photo. Make sure you follow the show handle. Look out for those each week. And the winner this week of the Jed Wills 8x10 is Nathan 322. Not to be confused with Nathan.
I like Nathan.
Nathan 322. Congratulations. You're taking home the Jed Wills 8x10 photo. Go follow TSE Cleveland on Twitter. Go check them out. Get some signed gear.
Big
All right.
Jed.
Yeah, Big Jed. Hopefully he has a turnaround year and we don't start him with one ankle. All right, we talked with Ed and Columbus a little bit about Jared Allen, fractured finger. Chris, our
I broke this news.
insider, breaking the news here. Chris, do you have any updates?
I do not. Do we even know which hand it is?
It's his non-shooting hand, which is
non-shooting.
good
It's-
news.
that's confirmed. Okay. I wasn't
Confirmed.
even sure. Okay.
So he blocked a shot.
Was that
And
off the
then-
backboard?
His
No, he
other
hit the
hand
rim.
like jammed up into the rim. It was I would like winced watching it, man. That's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cost of the
Thankfully,
win.
thankfully, it was his offhand, though.
Chris, what is the next major outlet that is going to quote you?
I don't know. I make them just so obvious too, and to have the same outlet now twice in a row. That's pretty impressive. Pretty.
Oh, it's the same people. No kidding.
I think it was. I think
Yeah,
it was.
was.
Yeah. So somebody there just, oh, you're not going to get me again. Oh, this is good. We need to share this.
Turned it into it. You know what's funny is they turned it out
No.
into a graphic, which means so they probably typed it out, read it aloud, and said, "You know what? This is
This looks
legit."
So here's what they're talking about. This is the quote that I put out there. I said it was from JB Bickerstaff. Jared Allen left with a quad injury, and then he started pointing it out other areas hurt. And then he touched the, wait a second. Wait, let me reread that. I can't read tonight.
What did you
Jared
say?
Allen left with a quad injury, and then he started pointing out other areas hurt.
What
when
is
he
this? A
touched them.
Stack News live read?
I don't know, man. I can't read my own. I wrote this originally, and all they did was transcribe it, and it doesn't make any sense. What I was saying was that as he pointed to other places on his body and said, "This hurts, this hurts, this hurts, this hurts," they finally said, "Oh, it's your finger that's broken." It's an old blonde joke that I just turned into that and
Nailed it.
attributed it to JB Bickerstaff, and apparently at least one news outlet went ahead and ran with it. So
Man,
that's
the
great.
Chris McNeil Ballsack Sports collab.
Exactly.
That
And I guess
account
whoever
is
runs that
unbelievable.
is from Northeast Ohio too.
Yeah,
like
from
Ballsack
Akron.
Sports.
That
Yeah,
account boomed. Like they're selling ads
did.
and stuff.
I know, it's amazing. Just
That's
overnight.
great. Good for ball sack. Nick, what the heck's going on with all these injuries?
Go ahead
Do
and cut that up. We're going to need that in a promo.
do you think we have enough time before the season ends? Obviously, we're not going to be
No.
where we wanted to be. We're not going to be the number 1 seed. We're not going to be probably top 5. But you look at all these injuries. Is there any chance we can pull this together and get our chemistry back where we can make a significant playoff run this year?
Yeah, I mean for sure. They looked alive down the stretch last night when things got
Yeah, they
close.
look
They were,
good.
yeah, they were able
Yeah.
to put away a good Raptors team who been one of the hottest teams in the East. So yeah, I mean it's all right. It's tough, so tough though, because after the All-Star break, those next 2-3 weeks is supposed to be where the coaching staff is able to get a look at the guys. Like this is going to be the playoff rotation. Like it's going to be these 8 or 9 guys on a nightly basis, and that's what we're going to roll with. The guys are missing out on that because obviously part of that would be Rajon Rondo and Karis LeVert. Well, those guys are out due to injury, and now Jared Allen, you've lost your bona fide center all-star. The second best center in the league, you could argue. That's not good. Not good at all. But I think, if there's any position that you could afford to lose in a modern NBA in the way that this Cavs roster is built, it's probably a center because you got a zillion of them.
That is true. That's a good point. Let's quickly move on to the Browns because we're running late. But this broke down today. Browns tagged David Njoku. Mixed reaction on Twitter. Chris, what are your thoughts on Njoku making the big bucks for a year here?
Yeah, are we going to use him? Are we going to commit to him? I don't know. Is he committed to us? Are we going to have any mysterious scratches? He is such an enigma on this team because he's got so much talent. He really does. And you look at that guy, and he's just a physical specimen. And
he
when
looks
he's
pretty
on,
good.
he's a huge game changer for us. But it's a matter of keeping him engaged for a full 17-game schedule and hopefully onto the playoffs past there. And we obviously haven't seen that yet. And a lot of what's wrapped up in David Njoku, even after several years in the league, is still in potential. So
Yeah.
I'm good with it. I'm good with it because I think that's what the franchise tag is probably there for, is a case like this where you say, okay, let's see what we've got for another year. And this year, it looks like we're going to make him the man, right? We're going to get rid of Hooper. I would assume that's going to be the next.
He already
move
fell
for us.
down.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
would hope. One would hope.
So
It won't be
now,
till-
hey, he wanted to be the guy 2 years ago. He asked for a trade. Since that time, we brought him back into the fold. He wants to be the guy. So now it's time to be the guy.
He reminds me a lot of Baker Mayfield because we're several years in. We don't know what we have. He's shown flashes. Hopefully we get
And
the
he
good
divides the fan base.
he divides the fan base. Perfect.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of similarities there. Nick, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I loved it. I really did. I saw like some of the tweets that are like, well, if David Njoku is our franchise player, we have bigger fish to fry. Like, no,
Bill
that's
Dawson was our
fair.
franchise player.
yeah,
I
like,
mean, come on,
like
that's just the
yeah,
way these
that's
people-
that's literally just the term that they
Yeah.
use. You know, like
Right,
teams, like the Bengals franchise tagged a star safety that they
Right.
couldn't afford to let walk. The Chiefs today franchise tagged their left tackle rather. So teams do this. You try to save a little bit of money, and all the reports say that this is literally just a bridge to a David Njoku contract extension.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I hope that comes. I definitely thought last season, I said this from the very, very, very beginning, he was the best and most talented tight end on the roster and really wide receiver on the roster at times. So I think what Chris said really just nailed it. Is let's just make him the guy. Let's give him an increase of volume and leave no doubt when he gets that contract extension that everybody on Brown's Twitter, with exception to some, will be happy and not do David.
No one,
Njoku.
there's no 100%. We could win the Super Bowl, and there's still going to be people on Brown's Twitter like,
Baker would never repeat.
we only really won by 10. I mean, that second half, we almost let it slip away.
Imagine if we would have lost the Super Bowl.
This would have been so much better if Baker wasn't our quarterback who did it.
Right.
Yeah. That flag, that I'm still not really over that flag plant. That's when the guy just, that's like I've likened that to like when you have an argument with your significant other. It's just that thing that keeps coming up and keeps coming up. So like in a world where eventually, say that the Browns do move on from Baker Mayfield, the radio stations and our Twitter mentions, there's going to be a lot of people saying, you know what, I never really liked Baker Mayfield. The damn flag plant is going to come up more than we care to admit in the future. I just have a weird feeling.
Let's hope not.
It just has Munch written all over it. I know Munch is just sitting back there right now, just waiting for his moment to be able to say all that stuff.
God, who cares?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I will say for David Njoku, there's worse players to bet on. Like you give 10, 11, 12 million dollars to this guy. It fits within the cap space for a year. Whatever. We'll see.
Especially if you get rid of Hooper. Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
Now you brought up that it was kind of interesting that people are getting their noses out of joint because they're saying if he's our franchise, what is our franchise? Maybe they should add on that when you franchise tag, it also comes with a captainship, so they're also the captain to really just add it up and get people's heads just totally spinning on Twitter.
I wonder if Stefanski will do his silly little gimmick again this year. Speaking of things like the flag, I've never liked this. The flag plant. Whoa.
Plant
flag. I never liked the one captain per game thing. Can we get rid of that?
I didn't even know he did that, to be honest with you.
Come on, that's a little elementary. Where like the player,
we did that. We literally did that in
like
Pee Wee
the
football.
player that he feels like needs to have a big game would be the captain, and like the last down the stretch, it was like Baker every game, and then he was like throwing the football like a shot put off of his back foot into triple coverage of the Green Bay Packers on
So
Christmas
he would do a
after he
game.
didn't practice after
single
14 days.
captain.
Yeah.
And then I would assume he would do a game ball after.
Yeah.
So he
Well,
basically
not in a
be
loss.
like here's the captain, and no, you're not getting this game ball. You sucked. That feels like a very bad strat.
Yeah, let's drop that. Like, let's do
drop
the
it.
C's on the uniform like everybody else. We name the three captains on offense, on defense, on special teams.
Yep.
Let's just try to be like everybody else this year, huh? If we ever considered that, let's drop the tight end obsession. Let's drop the cute things here and the cute things there. Let's just be normal. Let's just go into it completely normal.
Just be a normal family.
I mean, good Lord, with the guys
What's
running out there
normal?
with three tight ends and a fullback, it's like, well, how do you want to move the ball, buddy? Like,
Hey,
we'll see.
You're in a city with a basketball team that starts 3 7-footers. Come on. You don't do anything normal.
They win.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Ish.
Speaking of not normal, MLB lockout,
I hate
large
this.
bases. What is
Hey.
going on with these large bases? This
You know what I
seems-
figured out, Dave?
What
Is
I've not
that
looked into
they
this.
finally figured out that their fan base has gotten so damn old that they can't really see the bases that well. And they
That's
really, the bigger bases, they're giving them 2 more inches. those 2 inches are going to be huge because then they can easily see what's going on the base paths. So that's the reason that they're increasing the base size.
I like that.
We got to
Yeah.
cut that into a promo. Those
Oh,
2
yeah.
inches are going to be huge.
Size matters when it comes to
Gee,
baseball.
What is that? Does anyone actually know why they're doing this?
Well, actually, I have heard that it's a safety thing. They want to be able to. That gives you so the defensive player with their foot on the bag, you have more room to get both feet on, so you're not like stepping on someone else's foot. That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's true or not. It seems to only apply to like first base in that case, but in the lower leagues like ours, you have like 2 bases that are stuck together. So you have one where you go off to the side. Yeah, like beer league, you go off to the side at first base. Have you seen those? It's like
we have
base.
2 bases. Yeah, when we played
Yeah,
softball. Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't turn your ankle or anything. So they made bigger bases so that you're not turning your ankle. That's what I've heard.
Man,
And also
base-
the players like it because they could steal a little bit easier. I guess it's all incremental, but
That's
Ricky
right.
Henderson's coming
Henderson's
back.
like, oh, damn it.
That's right. Nick's like, I have no idea who you're talking about.
I'm done with baseball. I the whole thing is really just like
Oh, you sound like a Browns fan. Like when we don't draft the right guy, I'm done with this team. I'm never watching another.
no,
Drafted that flag planter. Planter flag.
Plant flagger.
Yeah,
Flagger.
no. I mean, I'm definitely gonna watch. I'm gonna miss it like hell, but it's just so ugly right now. Like this is so annoying. Why does it have to be like this? This is 2 years in a row of this.
What are they gonna do when someone does the shift and it's been banned?
The ump is just gonna yell, "Hey,
don't
none of that."
No, the process is the opposing manager then throws the red flag. Then they go up to the booth. And then it goes to New York and they review what's happened on the field. Then it comes back down, and 20 minutes later they make a ruling.
That's granted that your manager could find the red flag in all of his padding, like when Hugh couldn't find his red flag and he was digging all around in his underwear for it.
Yep. And if you lose a relief pitcher. They just take him right out of the game. He's off the roster.
He has to sit in the bleachers.
High penalties.
This is what we're arguing over. Good Lord.
That's right.
All right, best worst sweets. Let's get out of here.
Well, we
All
got
right.
breaking news before the friggin' best and worst tweets.
Oh,
How about
Baseball's
this?
back, folks.
Jeremy Fowler, ESPN. I'm told the Browns' plan is to keep Austin Hooper along with David Njoku, despite Njoku's franchise tag of $10.9 million. Hooper is due $9.5 million in salary this year.
See, this was my worry that Kevin Stefanski is just going to put all of our money into tight ends and fullbacks. Like
Here's-
I hope gets a huge deal. I like the guy a lot, but I have a feeling if we keep Austin Hooper, this is going to end horribly.
We do this with every single regime where we get rid of or keep good players because they don't fit or fit too well a scheme that is outdated, that is never going to even last for the length of that player's contract. And sorry, saying it as it is, if the Browns stink this year, Kevin Stefanski, you're Matt Nagy. It's been good knowing you. Hope that coach of the year, whatever, is nice and dusted off on your shelf because that's all you're going to ever get. Back to offensive coordinator, QB coach land for you. So I hope they figure this out because I don't like that at all. Does that mean that they're just going to abandon wide receiver all over again? And like I said, like we're not going to be normal.
What I like, yeah, exactly. You rewind 5 minutes ago. Nick's like, this season, I want to be normal. 5 minutes later, he's like, "Oh, we're doing it again."
And I love how they're
it only
like,
took 5 minutes for the Browns to disappoint you on that one.
and it's like, everyone, the Baker Wars, you could have whatever side, people are going to hate you over the Baker Wars. But like, I think everyone in the Browns universe could agree, like if they're going to run it back with Baker, like they're saying that they're going to, why wouldn't you try
Give
your
him as
damnness?
many tight ends as possible.
to
He's got
make
all
his
kinds of
life
weapons.
easy.
Like,
And
I
instead,
don't know.
you
I gave
keep
him all the fullbacks and tight ends any quarterback would ever need to be
the
successful.
$9.5 million guy that runs like he's got poop in his pants.
Wow. That's the breakdown you're not going to get on any other podcast, folks.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Like Dave literally told our guest, like, I'm afraid Baker's gonna leave and go be Matt Stafford. Yeah, because Matt Stafford doesn't have a $9.5 million tight end that runs his cleats are tied together.
We're gonna draft a tight end at 13 now. We're gonna keep moving. We're gonna we franchised Njoku, and we are going to draft a tight end at 13.
Browns
I'd be in Lake Erie with
tight
Yacht.
end set.
Like me and Yacht in Lake Erie together. Only I'm gonna have bricks attached to my legs.
5 tight ends. We're gonna have a wishbone in the backfield with 2 tight ends back there behind Baker.
Oh my God, this team just drives me to the edge.
I think I said it after the season ended. I'm never having expectations again going into a season. Chris, we've done this for a long time.
That's where we always make our mistake, Dave.
Correct. Our predictions have always been 10 wins, 11 wins, 12 wins. I will never go over 9 wins ever again.
Really, the Cavs model is what we need to go into every year. Like, we're going to suck. I guess we're young. Who knows? We're going to play for the lottery and then have them play, a little bit above expectations, which they've done. And everybody thinks that they're just the best thing ever. And we're never going to treat the Browns that way, but that's really the way we should go into these seasons.
We need the bet jack over under games won for the year at like 3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go super low.
Yeah, I'm with you. Hey, if they keep this up with the number of tight ends, you may just naturally do that.
Yeah, that like my projected win total was probably, like you said, Dave, around 8, 9. I think I'm down to probably like a 6 after that tweet.
It's inversely related to the number of tight ends that are on the final.
Yeah. The next tight end that we get, we're up there.
We're taking 5 wins off, right?
Yeah. We're up there with the Jets and the Jags for number 1 overall pick 2023.
If someone offered me the bet of Browns over under 7.5, and that person would probably be Calvin Ridley, I would probably go. I wouldn't take the bet. I would just walk.
That's a tough one. That's a good mark.
I'd walk
7.5. I think I'd go over, but that's
8, 9. Yeah,
that's where
I wouldn't do it. I mentally can't do it again this year.
It's a 17-game schedule, though.
But imagine you bet on 7.5 and somehow, some way, which I don't think is going to happen, right? But imagine you take that bet at 7.5 and then the under hits. You'd feel like the biggest goon on planet Earth. I don't know that I could do it.
Yeah,
well,
I'm broken up though because of that Austin Hooper.
My life as a Cleveland fan, I'm playing for the push. I'm just hoping I get that 7.5. We tie a game and boom, right in there, 7.5. Let's go. Give me my money back. I can live to fight another day.
Yeah, let's just go under and say 6, 7 wins would be nice, and we'll get a fun meter going for the Browns throughout the year. Get us to super duper fun at some point. I think it would be great.
Fun meter
Baker played the Phil Collins song again. That was fun. We lost by 20, but good Lord, we were all over Instagram with that in the air tonight highlight.
Wow.
I'm hurt.
Seated issues. You're a very hurt man.
Yes,
yeah.
Nick.
You're
on that
danger
note,
zone.
take us out.
Danger zone for a while. All right.
Get us out of here, Nick.
All righty. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Big Play Reflog Show. Sorry it turned into an Austin Hooper therapy session there at the end, but if you want to keep it going, make sure to follow at Big Play Reflog on Twitter so you never miss one of these streams. You'll also be eligible to get some TSE Cleveland autographed memorabilia. Check them out, tsecleveland.com. While you're online, check out Shaq News, some of the best video game reviews, walkthroughs, guides that you'll find online. Drink some Labatt. Get a GV shirt, wear it every week when you watch the show. We will see you guys next Monday night. Peace.
It's time! Streaming live from Cleveland, Ohio! Presenting the undefeated, undisputed heavyweight podcast of the world, the Big Play Reflog Show!